एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द बायो ब्लिट्स ब्रिलियंस। सो अभी तक हम लोगों ने न्यूरॉन के टाइप्स, उनके फंक्शंस, उनमें नर्व इंपल्स का ट्रांसमिशन कैसे होता है, ये सब पढ़ चुके हैं। नाउ वी आर मूविंग नेक्स्ट टू द ब्रेन पार्ट। सो आज हम लोग जो पार्ट्स पढ़ने वाले हैं वो मेनिंजेस के बारे में पढ़ने वाले हैं। मूविंग ऑन टू फर्स्ट मेनिंजेस, लेट अस डिस्कस व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इट इज। हमारा ब्रेन और स्पाइनल कॉर्ड दोनों एक बोनी लाइक स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर कवर्ड होता है। बोनी लाइक स्ट्रक्चर जो ब्रेन के ऊपर होता है उसे हम क्रेनियम या स्कल बोन कहते हैं। बोनी लाइक स्ट्रक्चर जिसके अंदर स्पाइनल कॉर्ड होता है उसे हम वर्टेब्रल कॉलम कहते हैं। अब वर्टेब्रल कॉलम और क्रेनियम, वर्टेब्रल कॉलम और ब्रेन, इन दोनों के बीच में एक लेयर होता है। वर्टेब्रल कॉलम एंड स्पाइनल कॉर्ड, इनके बीच में एक लेयर होता है जो एक्स्ट्रा प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करता है ब्रेन एंड स्पाइनल कॉर्ड को। सो दैट द कॉमन लेयर विच इज अराउंड द ब्रेन एंड स्पाइनल कॉर्ड, इट इज नोन एज मेनिंजेस। अब ये मेनिंजेस क्या होता है, कितने लेयर्स के होते हैं? मेनिंजेस जो होते हैं बेसिकली 3 लेयर्स के होते हैं। ड्यूरा मैटर, एरेक्नॉइड मैटर एंड पाया मैटर। ड्यूरा मैटर इज द आउटर मोस्ट लेयर, एरेक्नॉइड मैटर इज द मिडल लेयर एंड पाया मैटर इज द इनर मोस्ट लेयर। नाउ लेट अस सी व्हाट इज मीन बाय ड्यूरा मैटर, व्हाट आर दे मेड अप ऑफ, एरेक्नॉइड मैटर एंड पाया मैटर। When you see over here, dura mater is the outermost tough layer which is made up of dense fibrous connective tissue. When we say dense fibrous connective tissue, the dense means here the fibers will be very much tightly connected to each other. And when we say fibrous connective tissue, the fibrous connective tissue, it means the elastin and collagen fibers. Elastin provides the elasticity to the layer and collagen provides the mechanical strength to the layer. So what is the function of this layer? It provides strength and protection to the brain. Moving on to next layer, it is the arachnoid mater. Now the arachnoid mater is basically the middle layer forming a loose web-like structure made up of collagen and elastin fibers. When we mention here loose web-like structure, what does exactly means? If you see over here, this is the arachnoid mater. From the layer of the arachnoid mater, inside a trabeculae-like inward projections is present over here, which looks like a spider's web-like appearance. Hence we have mentioned over here it looks like a loose web-like structure. Now what is arachnoid matter made up of? It is made up of collagen and elastin fibers. Again the collagen provides strength and elastin provides elasticity. What is function? It acts as a protective barrier and contains the CSF. It contains CSF. Now what is CSF? CSF is basically a cerebrospinal fluid. So what is cerebrospinal fluid? It is basically a fluid which is secreted by 2 cells. First cells is ependymal cells of spinal cord. When we say spinal cord, there is a central canal present inside the spinal cord. Spinal cord is layered by a cells known as ependymal cells. So in the spinal cord, these ependymal cells are responsible for producing the CSF. And second place is brain. In the brain, there are lateral ventricles or third ventricle or fourth ventricles. Now what are these ventricles? The ventricles are the spaces or the inward openings which connect forward brain, forebrain to the midbrain to the hindbrain. So in these spaces or in these gaps of the brain which are known as ventricles, there is a cell which is known as choroid plexus cells. So in the choroid plexus, epithelial cells are responsible for producing CSF. So the two things, ependymal cells of the spinal cord and epithelial cells of the choroid plexus are responsible for producing CSF. What is meant by CSF? We will see in detail next. Next, and the innermost layer to the brain is known as Pia Mater. Now this is very important from the perspective of CET and NEET. Most often the MCQ is or answer in one sentence is asked that which is that layer which is very much closest to the brain surface. So the innermost layer which is very much close to the brain surface is known as Pia Mater. Now this is the innermost matter, very much delicate. When we say delicate, it is very much thin layer made up of blood vessels. So this is mentioned over here. Innermost layer attached to the surface of the brain and spinal cord. It is very much delicate, made up of vascular, made up of blood vessels. When we mention about vascular, here the vascular tissues comes which is present inside our body as an arteries and veins that are known as blood vessels. Now if this is Pia Mater, this is the underlying nervous tissue. So Pia Mater being composed of blood vessels, its main function is to provide the nourishment to the underlying nervous tissue present beneath it. So its main function is to nourish and protect the underlying nervous tissue. So when we see the function, when we see the structure over here, Dura Mater, Arachnoid Mater and Pia Mater. So between the Dura Mater and Arachnoid Mater a space is present that is known as subdural space. Between arachnoid matter and Pia Mater a space is present that is known as subarachnoid space. In the subdural space, a serous fluid is present which prevents from the mechanical energy and a shock absorber. In the same way, between the arachnoid matter and Pia mater, a space is present that is known as subarachnoid space. Now this space is filled with CSF. What is meant by CSF? CSF is primarily composed of water, electrolytes, proteins, glucose, etc. Now CSF helps to act as a mechanical shock absorber, providing mechanical strength. As you mentioned over here, it is act as a cushion, provide mechanical support, regulate chemical environment of the around the nervous tissue. What will be nervous tissue around that layer? It will be regulating the chemical environment of this tissue. So this was all about the Dura Mater, Arachnoid Mater and Pia Mater, which comes together and forms a meninges as an extra protective layer around the brain as well as spinal cord. Now when we say according to the perspective of CT and NEET, one thing is very much important which is often most asked in the CT, that is the outermost Dura Mater is made up of two external layers, that is periosteal layer and meningeal layer. This point you need to just keep in mind that when it is asked that the Dura Mater is composed of what external layer. So the first thing is periosteal layer and meningeal layer. So this was all about the meninges, that is the covering of the brain as well as spinal cord. If you have understood the content, please do like, share and subscribe and comment on the channel, and most importantly, please do watch full video so that you get the most informative content. So in the next upcoming lecture, we'll discuss about the parts of the brain and their functions. So thank you so much.